Hello there. Presented by the Atlas Strength Shop. This is the Atlas Nerds in Iron podcast. With your hosts, Cameron Ray and Tyler Hales.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Atlas Nerds in Iron podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Ray. This is co-host Tyler Hales.
Hey, everybody.
So how you doing today, Tyler?
I'm good. I've watched enough Bubble Guppies over the weekend to last me a lifetime.
What is Bubble Guppy?
You don't even want to know.
Wait, is that thing that was kind of like the Smurfs, but they were like little snorkel people?
Yeah, they're little snorkel things.
Okay, and it came on when we were kids? Or is it
Maybe when
something
you were a
new?
kid. I'm old as hell.
All right, let's see. I think I need to bump your gain down just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've redlined a couple of times. I'll just take it from the top again.
Nah, we don't have to take it from the top.
Okay.
Redlining every once in a while is okay, but as long as you don't just turn completely red, I think we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to crack these open.
All right.
And today we are drinking from a Beta Beer, the Mardi Gras bot. If you were listening to this in real time and not just catching episodes 10 weeks after the fact like some people do, you'll know that, 2 days from now is Mardi Gras.
Yep.
So, state took our holiday from us, so we are celebrating the best way we know how by eating king cake and drinking beer.
Absolutely.
No, I've never had this before. Have you?
Nope. It's not terrible.
Kind of tastes a little bit like their amber.
It does.
How much you want to bet it's pretty much the same thing with a different label on it?
Has a little bit more of a cinnamon aftertaste to it, but
I don't taste the cinnamon.
you don't taste the cinnamon. I do.
No, maybe I'm not pretentious enough.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I like it. It's good stuff.
So we want to go ahead and talk about our sponsors?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that.
All right. You want to do it this week?
Sure, why not? Let's mix things up. Let's talk about our main sponsor. It's Unmasked Studio. He makes boutique cosplays. Isn't he out of New Orleans?
He is. He is out of New Orleans. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I keep saying every week that we need to reach out to him and get him on the show. If you don't get a text from me by Wednesday that I did that,
Okay.
blow up my phone.
Okay, yeah. Unmasked Studio, he makes boutique cosplays. He just posted his, because he said it was a little too cold right now to work in his shop, his lair, he calls it, I believe.
Okay.
It's perfect. But he showed, he posted a picture of his original bat suit that he made, and man, he knocks it out of the park with every single one of them.
Was his original one the one that had the trench coat? Was it that one, or was it a different one that he made? Because I see him post his trench coat a lot.
I want to say it was his Dark Knight, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I'll have to go back and look. But I remember the lighting and the surrounding style, the surrounding montage of things. It looked really good. But yeah, definitely go check him out. If you like what you see, let him know. Just drop a comment on the one you like. My personal favorite, I've said before, Homelander. Love Homelander.
It was really good Homelander.
Yeah, but yeah, let him know that you're listening to us and that you like what he does. And you know, if you've got the moxie to do so, work something out with him. Get a suit from him. He can fix your dad bod into making it look like you know how to fly.
You know, eventually when I get married, I want to get him to make me a tux. Think he'd make me a tux with abs?
I think he does tailor stuff full time.
You know what? I did see that.
I think he does tailor stuff full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ought to be able to get us real hooked up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, look like regular clap doctors.
Yep. You can you can look like Batman or Bruce Wayne. It's up to you.
Yeah. Okay, and moving on to our other way of support, which I have to say you guys have been incredible with this so far. Strike Force Energy. So it's a veteran-owned. It's energy. How would you say energy supplement?
That's what I always say. It's a veteran-owned energy supplement company.
Veteran-owned energy supplement company. Words are coming out of my mouth. Okay.
These are all words.
Anyway, if you follow me on Instagram, and I'm sure Cameron will share it to the rest of the portals later, I just posted up a little quick Instagram video of how easy it is to use one of the Strike Force packets. It's simple. It's affordable. If you use the promo code Atlas Strength, it's even more affordable. You can get more bang for your buck. These things are great for an afternoon pick-me-up, as Cameron always says.
I had one before I cracked open this beer and we started filming.
So did I.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
mixing our stimulants with our depressants.
Yeah, uppers and downers. Great stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, they taste.
Gym.
They taste good. You got the orange flavor. You got the original flavor that tastes like Red Bull. My personal favorite is grape. Isn't there another one?
They also have lemon, which
Lemon.
I don't know many people that really like the lemon. But hey, if lemon's your thing, by all means, go for it.
If you like making lemon drop shots and you want to give it a kick, there you go.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
What's in a lemon drop? Do you know off the top of your head?
You just asked me a question I don't know.
Well, I mean, it
I
happens.
know there's alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say there's Bacardi Limon.
You know what we
involved.
need?
What?
We need an on-set bartender to answer these questions. Like before,
I have a bartender friend in Monroe.
I mean, we all have bartender friends.
Well, yeah, I know. He's like
Maybe I can find us one closer than Monroe.
probably so. But I could probably ask him right now, and he'd let me know
Just like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But neither here nor there. Yeah, I bet the Lemon Strike Force would be good.
Probably.
Really good
Yeah.
in a lemon drop shot. Which, you like your what's that? What do they call that? A Vegas bomb?
The Red Bull and vodka?
Red Bull and vodka, or Red Bull and Crown Royal, or one of those Red Bulls and alcohols. But yeah, Strike Force Energy promo code Atlas Strength saves you some money, gives us a little kickback. You get a little afternoon pick me up. Everybody wins.
Everybody. And whoever spent $291 at StrikeForceEnergy.com and used our promo code, thank you. As soon as they get us that, we're gonna buy something cool for this place. Maybe another microphone, maybe another adapter, so we can have 4 people on the podcast. Who knows? But you made that possible, random citizen.
Definitely. Thank you for supporting us. It means a lot.
Like, you get to be caffeinated for the next month or so, and we got $45 out of the deal. Like that's enough right there in one shot that we can do a little something with to make this experience a little bit better for y'all. So,
okay, moving into this week's topic, which I see we forgot to write notes down again. It's okay.
We didn't really need to write those down this time.
No, you're right. So, question: how many Strike Force energies would it take for you to move as fast as Petro?
That's a good question. Do all I have is Strike Force energy?
All you have is Strike Force.
How long do I have to move that quickly for?
Man, you're getting into math that I'm not capable of doing.
I wasn't ready for this question. I'm trying to get as much data as I can, because I know the amount of caffeine I would need to move that quickly. I wouldn't be moving that quickly for long.
Right. Yeah.
And then, I'd be moving about as fast as vision.
Yeah.
All right, so for those of you that didn't listen last week, which I think everyone in the state practically listened to our conversation with Lauren Wells, we're going to be going over episodes 4, 5, and 6 of WandaVision. Now, a lot happened during those episodes, so we don't have a secondary topic to talk about this time. Of course, we'll both probably go off on our various tangents. I know I already got a couple in mind. But that is the main thing that we're going to be talking about during this podcast. We're going to kind of jump around a little bit, talk about some different theories. What do you think? Do you think we should do this chronologically, episode by episode, or do we just want to talk about the whole thing in the big lump?
You know what? I think it's safe to go ahead and just start.
30 packets of Strike Force energy.
30 packets.
I think I can maintain that pace for 2 minutes before my heart gave out.
I know CPR.
Let me die. just let me die.
All right. Well, episodes 1 through 3 really kind of set up everything for 4, 5, 6. 1 through 3 were still very much what the hell's going on kind of episodes. 4, 5, and 6 really picked up the story.
Definitely. In episode 4, we actually got to see what was going on in episodes 1, 2, and 3, but from the outside point of view.
Right.
They brought in Kat Dennings to reprise her role as Darcy. Thank God for her.
Yeah.
John Krasinski, he came in to reprise his role as Agent Wu.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And there's rumor now that he might be playing Reed Richards, which I don't see how that's going to work when he's already playing Agent Wu.
Has Hollywood gone too far?
Hollywood has gone too far for years. That's another thing we might touch on is the hypocrisy in Hollywood over the last week.
We may need to talk about that since it's relevant this week.
Yeah. That way we can get some so y'all kind of see behind the veil. If we talk about things that are current event wise, we get to put that in our SEO work, search engine optimization, the tag list. So when people Google it, they can find us.
Algorithms and shit.
Y'all know how that works now.
So we get to see I know we said we will refer to him as John Krasinski going forward, but for all intents and purposes, his real actual government name is Randall Park.
You killed it.
I know.
The magic is gone.
Agent Wu. Also, in episode 4, I know I mentioned it to you. He learned Ant-Man's card trick and used it.
That was a really nice touch.
Yes.
It's nice to see that character development from these minor characters going from movie to movie.
Right.
Because I'm sure a lot of people probably completely forgot about that scene. And there he is just whooping it out. He probably uses that at the bar to pick up women now.
Right.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. I did fit in, Addie Grace wanted to watch the first Avengers movie, the one that came out in, 2012, I think it was?
I don't remember what year it came out.
It was early. But it was pre-Disney, I think it was. Was the Avengers pre-Disney?
I think that the Avengers might have been the first one that was Disney.
It may have been. I remember buying tickets to that particular movie and my sister texting me saying, "Hey, are there any tickets left?" And I looked on my app and said yes. And by the time I text her, 3 minutes later, I got a text back. She said they're sold out. That it was that big of a movie.
At the time, it was the most ambitious feature film to ever happen.
It was. But I watched it again yesterday with Addie Grace, and I forget that Cubby Smulders was in that, and I forget that, and Addie Grace was asking me all these questions, and I haven't watched that since it was in theaters, and that was 9 years ago.
You haven't watched it since it was in theaters?
I haven't watched the original Avengers since I watched it in theaters.
You know what we need? We need a 9-series Marvel show to explain how Robin became a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah, I forgot that, there was so much division between all of what eventually became the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And I just forgot a lot of people were part of that.
I mean, they still are.
Colby
Smulders still has a contract with Disney. She's still going to appear in later things.
Yeah.
Especially since they're doing a Secret Invasion series, I guarantee you she's going to wind up in that.
Right. Going to keep a lot of people busy over the next 5 years or so. Yeah.
All right, so let's reel it back in.
Yeah.
We were talking about episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
They really they started to cover what was going on the outside. So we got to see really what's going on with various things. Like we got to see that she's not creating things out of thin air. She's actually remanipulating the matter that already exists. Wanda, I mean. We found out that yes, Vision is actually dead. He isn't alive. She didn't bring him back to life. She is just controlling his corpse within the confines of her own reality. You saw that big Weekend of Bernie's moment at the end of episode
was,
4.
Yeah, it was at the end of episode 4. It sure was.
Yep. So that was a huge revelation. And then episode 5, we actually got to see her break into the sword facility and steal Vision's body and drive off with it, which I presume is what's happening during the opening credits of episode 1, where they're newlyweds and they're driving into town for the first time, is Vision's corpse reanimating.
Right.
Which really it gets dark.
Yeah.
We also got to see Evan Peters reprise his role as Quicksilver at the end of episode 5, which.
And it's to be mentioned that it isn't Quicksilver from the Avengers.
No.
It's Quicksilver from X-Men.
Yes, it's the Fox's version of Quicksilver, which is the superior Quicksilver.
Right.
I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast before, but was it X-Men First Class that he was first introduced, or which X-Men movie was Evan Peters Quicksilver first introduced, or was it Days of Future Past?
I think it was Days of Future Past.
But I just picture Kevin Feige going to the theater that day to see the newest, because at the time Fox's X-Men was their primary competitor in the superhero space. So he would have gone to see this movie, and I just picture Time in a Bottle starting and that whole scene taking place, and Kevin Feige just going, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Because they had already had plans to use the Maximoff twins in their own series, and there was no way they were going to be able to top that.
Right.
Like, that was one of the reasons they had to kill them off so fast, was because they couldn't top what Fox was doing, and because it was going to be way too much trouble than it was worth to, because they weren't allowed to say Quicksilver at all. They weren't allowed to mention Magneto. They weren't allowed to even say the word mutant. So there were just too many hurdles in the way. But now that Disney owns Fox, all those hurdles are out the window.
Yeah. I know I'm the wrestling fan here, but basically Disney became Vince McMahon in the 80s when all these other small promotions had superstars. And instead of Vince McMahon working and existing as multiple, having multiple, because it was very much a territory thing. Vince just got really good at what he did, and he bought all these territories out, took their superstars, made them his own, and now he's got his thumb over the entire industry. Mm-hmm. So Disney's basically doing this with Star Wars, Marvel,
the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The United States of Disney.
Yep. And who knows, in 8 years, Kevin Feige might run for president.
Maybe so.
You heard it here first.
Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Mickey Mouse?
Oh, God. Back itches. Don't you hate when your back itches and you just can't reach the spot it's itching?
Oh, fat guy problems.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's the worst. So, yeah, we got to see Quicksilver come in.
Yeah.
Which was great. It was really weird. It doesn't seem like Wanda or Piedro's character have any idea how the hell he got there. Like in episode 6, Pietro actually says, I remember dying in the street. Then I remember hearing you calling out to me, and I came. And he has no idea why he looks different. So something weird is going on because he has the memories of the Pietro from the MCU, but he has the appearance of Fox's Pietro. And it seems to be the personality of Fox's Pietro, too.
It is. It very much is. Kind of a, don't really give a shit, I'm here for the party kind of guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's definitely a bad influence with those kids, too. It's pretty funny, but, he's... And even though they're supposed to be the same age, he acts like he's the younger brother.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you saw what you needed to see with the mimic of the Malcolm in the Middle opening.
Yeah, he's definitely playing the older brother role from from that
Which,
show.
if you remember that show, that's one that anytime I'm flipping through channels, yes, I'm that old flipping through channels.
You still have cable?
Yeah, I still. Well, look, it's one of those things where.
Okay, boomer.
Exactly. It's one of those things that doesn't really cost any more for us to have.
Mm-hmm.
We have internet, cable packaged, and Chelsea watches a lot of DIY stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Has Chelsea ever seen YouTube before?
Yes, she
okay.
has.
All right, just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Hi, Chelsea.
I love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
You know, I was really surprised when she commented that she actually listens to this show.
She does, and she gives me feedback.
She gives you feedback?
Yeah.
Is it good feedback?
It's constructive.
What did she say about what we pulled on you when David was on the podcast?
Oh, she thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
She thought it was hilarious, yeah.
we just cut out before you could do anything about it.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't help it.
Yeah. But let's talking about WandaVision again. Let's talk about Wanda coming out of Westview and giving them a fuck around and find out message.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
because they send in the drone. What? I can't remember her character's name, but the sword agent that went in. Refresh me on her name.
Is it Monica Rambeau?
Yes.
Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know who we're going to find out is powered.
Yes.
Later on.
It's already been mentioned that she has crossed through that barrier twice, and her cells are changing because of it.
Well, her character was Captain Marvel before Captain Marvel was Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So we're going to see something very similar, especially since Wanda's powers are derived from an Infinity Stone energy. At least so far, they might retcon that.
Well, Monica's mom and Captain Marvel were friends.
They were.
And it was mentioned as a possible retcon that the reason Captain Marvel's hair was short is because she shaved her head in unison with Monica's mother because she had.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about all that.
Yeah. It's
clear.
Yeah. We were talking
anyway,
about
when they send the drone in and Monica Rambeau's character is talking to her, and her boss, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., just says, fire the missile. She doesn't know it's armed. And she comes out holding that thing. Her Swakovian accent's back. And her current Avengers costume is back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I can guarantee you that scene where she turns all of their weapons onto the director, that was right out of when Magneto in X2. Was it X2 or was it the first X-Men? I need to rewatch that series.
Yeah.
Turned all of the weapons onto the cops in that. Do you remember that scene? I don't know if it was...
I remember in First Class, all the missiles got turned one way.
Well, he did it in... he did it in... like, Ian McKellen's... did it as well.
Yeah.
And, like, he fired a shot and stopped the bullet just in time. And he was telling Charles, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
In order to get away. So, I don't know if it was an intentional Easter egg or not. But it definitely was a very similar scene, and I really hope we get to see Ian McKellen reprise his role
Wouldn't
as
that be
Magneto.
Great? Yeah. Ian McKellen, he's a treasure.
He really is.
I'm sorry, Sir Ian McKellen.
It's going to be a sad day when he passes. I don't know if I'm going to be sadder for him or Betty White. Probably Ian McKellen.
Probably so.
'Cause I don't think I've ever gone to see a movie because Betty White was in it.
Betty White's a golden girl. That's her.
Yeah.
That's her main drive. Which she's been relevant since the 50s. And
she was a knockout in the 50s too.
Oh man, yes she was.
Definitely.
Yeah, Betty had it going on. But okay, we were talking about Wanda turning the guns against. Then we get Pietro at the end of that episode, and the line, I chuckled so much at that one line when he looked at Vision and said, "Who's the popsicle?"
Yeah, like he can tell Vision's dead,
right?
And they mentioned that in episode 6 too, where Vision, he goes outside the barrier, he starts disintegrating, and Pietro tells Wanda he can't die twice.
Yeah. Kind of a dick thing to say, but
he was a dick through the whole episode.
He was.
Like, you can tell he does not approve of what Wanda is doing,
right.
But at the same time, I think he knows that if he's there by Wanda's whim.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we also got to see him full of bullet holes as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead though.
We're just gonna have to see.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
It's like me and you were talking. Was it during last week's podcast, or were we talking offline a little bit? Where if they don't use this to introduce the 20th Century Fox X-Men, then they're going to go about it a really convoluted way.
I think we mentioned it last week, but if we didn't, here we are now. So yeah. I think it needs to happen.
It does need to happen.
If there's no greater chance than now.
What do you think the odds are that the aerospace engineer that Monica Rambeau knows is Reed Richards?
I really hope it is, and I really hope it's John Krasinski, like they say.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to introduce him yet. The Fantastic Four movie is way into the future. Like, we're talking like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
I may be wrong about that.
I guess third time will be a charm, because they've really struck out twice on that movie.
Marvel's never had it before.
You're right.
Like,
MCU's never had it.
Like, think about all the problems that arose from the first 2 Spider-Man trilogies that they tried to do. Because I loved the original Spider-Man trilogy.
The Tobey Maguire?
Yes, with the exception of the third one. But, okay, so what made the original trilogy great wasn't the actors, with the exception of, I don't remember the actor's name, but the guy who played Doc Ock. He was a perfect Doc Ock.
Tobey Maguire, he actually just got put back in that role, too.
He did.
Yeah.
But Tobey Maguire was way too old.
He was.
And he should not have been playing a high school student. But Sam Raimi owned every Spider-Man comic from the 80s. He was a huge Spider-Man fan. He did that story justice. The third movie sucked because he thought he was getting 4. So he tried to do everything he wanted to do with his 4 movies in that last movie.
Yeah.
Now,
and we've seen that not work out.
Emo Spider-Man dancing, there's no excuse.
Look,
he's just going to have to take his lick
the original
on that.
Spider-Man trilogy is a meme gold mine.
It really is.
It's like the Star Wars prequels.
Yes.
There's so much from it. Pizza time.
Now, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, I didn't like that one from the get-go.
I never even gave it the time of day.
Aesthetically, it was very pleasing to the eye, but, and I think this is just me, because one of my favorite storylines in Spider-Man is the death of Gwen Stacy storyline, which I think they butchered. Because Gwen Stacy is supposed to go to her death blaming the person that she loves unknowingly for the death of her father. And they threw that away so that Peter Parker could tell Gwen Stacy at the end of the first movie that he was Spider-Man so that he could get laid. And it to me, it cheapened her death. Disney got a hold of Spider-Man, and there's some things I don't like with how they're handling it. But it's the closest in my opinion. Like, I really hate the fact that his suit has AI.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why. It's to give him something to bounce off of for the story, but...
I get it, but at the same time, when Spider-Man was founded, it wasn't founded on the pretense that he had AI in his suit.
No.
He wasn't a gadget superhero.
He wasn't Tony Stark's prodigy child.
Right.
In the original story. But I know what they're doing. I think it's the Ultimate Spider-Man series on Disney. It's a cartoon series. Mm-hmm. And that's the storyline they're trying to go with, where Nick Fury recruits Spider-Man and he becomes Spider-Man Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., basically. They're trying to do that, but I love the character too much to watch them do that.
Right.
So that really bugs me.
Talking about Spider-Man, since we're on the topic, what do you think about Miles Morales?
I don't know enough about Miles Morales' character to have an opinion on.
Have you watched Into the Spider-Verse?
I have.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it.
Me personally, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those that I can throw on with the kids. The kids are going to enjoy the hell out of it, and so am I.
I personally just don't like the idea that Miles Morales replaces Peter Parker in some storylines.
Yeah.
And it's just because that's who I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with Peter Parker. So, I love that character so much that I hate to see him go. But I understand why having a character like Miles Morales is important. Both for, story progression and for representation.
Right.
It's important to have those kind of characters.
Right.
But I want a universe where they both exist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we get that as we go forward.
Yeah, and it's not the first time that we've had multiple Spider-Men in the same universe. Like, there was a point where Peter Parker was cloned.
Yeah.
And the existing Peter Parker didn't know if he was the clone or not. Eventually, Peter Parker comes back, and you realize the Peter Parker we've been following is the clone. He changes his name to Ben Reilly, and then you have Spider-Man, you have the Scarlet Spider. Which, if you've never seen the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume, easily the coolest Spider-Man costume that was out there. It was amazing.
I've checked that out.
Yeah, I'll show it to you after we're done with this.
Sure.
Might post it to IG too.
Post it to IG. We talk about posting things to IG a lot, and we don't.
We do sometimes.
Sometimes.
We posted that beer a few weeks ago to
Yeah,
IG.
we did.
But I've been dropping the ball on IG lately anyway, just across the board. It's been harder to find content, especially when it's cold.
Yeah, well, no better time than to dig around on the internet when it's frozen outside and you can't go anywhere.
Well, it's not digging around on the internet. It's going out and taking pictures in our frozen-ass gym.
Oh, yeah.
So cold out there right now.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get back to WandaVision. We've kind of talked about episode 4, kind of talked about episode 5. We've touched on a couple of things in episode 6. I know I talked to you about it yesterday. There was a reference to, Evan Peters and Aaron Taylor Johnson both being best friends in the movie Kick-Ass.
And I didn't catch it.
And it was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't know if you remember this, but Evan Peters also played Michael Scott's nephew in that one episode of The Office. You remember the really bratty nephew that he ended up having to spank?
I remember the episode, but I cannot picture Evan Peters' face on that character.
So Michael hired him during the summer to come in and be like a floater for the office to get everybody coffee and do favors and stuff like that. He was really shitty at it. Yeah. And the rest of the office was just, hey, you've got to do something about this. Mm-hmm. And Michael didn't want to because it was his nephew.
Yeah.
And that was Evan Peters.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've rewatched The Office.
Well.
And I'm not getting Peacock.
No, Peacock can go.
They can't make me.
No. There's not enough content outside the office for me to really get on there and watch it.
Yeah, and honestly, let's face it, being a huge fan of The Office is just a replacement for people with no personality to think they have a personality.
I like The Office.
I like The Office too, but
I also like other things.
Yeah, I know people that make being an Office fan their entire personality.
Yeah.
Hell, I just got done dating one of them. I can say that because there's no way she's going to be downloading this episode.
Her loss.
Yeah, probably. So do we want to cover anything else about WandaVision? We want to move on to current events of the Star Wars universe.
Well, let's talk about one more thing with WandaVision. And we talked about in episode 5, she came out and said, fuck around and find out.
Oh, yeah.
They fucked around and they found out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I forgot about that. We would have definitely been lacking in our WandaVision recap had we not mentioned. So, all of episode 6, Vision is trying to figure out what the hell is going on. That's when we figured out that Agnes doesn't know what's going on, really.
She doesn't.
She's being just as controlled as everybody else in that town. And Vision finds the perimeter. He goes out of it and starts to slowly disintegrate. Well, not really slowly, but quickly disintegrate. And that's when we figure out that so Billy's the speedster. and Tommy is the one with her powers.
Yes.
Billy's been running around with Pietro the entire episode, and everybody's thinking Tommy's just kind of a lame duck. He starts to hear his dad die. His power kicks on, and Wanda, there's no telling just how many square miles she increased that perimeter to, but she took over the entire footprint of the sword facility. She took in Kat Dennings. She turned all of the sword agents into clowns, just turned the whole thing into a circus so that she could get Vision back inside the perimeter and save his life.
Yep.
So they definitely fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Or really Vision fucked around and they found out.
Yeah. In the true spirit of Valentine's Day, that's love.
It really is. That is love. Like, look, if you don't dig up your significant other's corpse and manipulate the world around you to reanimate their body,
you really even care about them?
No, you don't care about them. Look, if your significant other isn't doing that for you, just saying, leave them. Yeah.
If they're not being the Wanda to your Vision,
or the Vision to your Wanda,
either or. All right, so I think we've done it a good service to cover the last 3 episodes of WandaVision.
I think so too.
Kevin Feige.
I think it's Feige.
Kevin F word. How about that?
I don't think he's gonna like being called that.
Well, you know what? I didn't give him that last name.
Okay.
All right, but anyway, he did come out and announce that the last 3 episodes of this season.
Hey Tyler, remember that it's a shock. It goes this way.
All right. So he announced that the last 3 episodes are going to be an hour long.
Did he? I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get some good, thick, buttery episodes the next 3 rounds.
3 C's.
Yeah.
How about it? So what you're saying is we need to put Kevin Feige in a leadership position over there in Mandalorian showrunner.
Yeah, him and Jon Favreau need to have a coffee together.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to... Now, I say that jokingly, but I did read somewhere that the Kenobi episode's going to be like an hour and a half long.
I think they're only going to be able to do 1 season of Kenobi. There's only so much you can do with that.
I'm fine with it.
And I'm fine with it as long as they give it good fabric, good length.
Good
curve. You know, it's probably going to be the last time we ever see Ewan McGregor play Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they better give him a good send-off.
I'm just glad Ray Parks is coming back for it. Did you see he posted on his Instagram?
Yes. He posted the
crown.
Yeah, the crown from makeup. Yeah. Yeah.
So I recently heard an interview revolving, and I promise this is relevant, Friday the 13th. God, I can't remember his name now. The actor that played Freddy Krueger.
Robert Englund.
Yes. He said that one of the things that helped him get into character during the scenes where he's terrorizing the kids was he thought about how easy their makeup was compared to his. And that made him angry.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Ray Parks does something similar when he has his scenes when Ewan McGregor. So he spends all that time in makeup to become Darth Maul, and all they did was put a little powder on Ewan McGregor's face.
Yeah, put this robe on. Yeah, you're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jedi.
Yeah.
You have been Jedi'd.
But yeah, next 3 episodes are going to be an hour long, and I'm looking forward to it.
I am too, especially considering that I tend to watch these at work.
Yeah.
With my boss, we go into the. I don't think any of his bosses are listening to this, but we just go into his office, we pop it on, and that's how we spend the first hour of our Fridays. Then I text you and I'm be like, "Catch up, bitch."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when Mando comes back around, I'll be the one watching it before you, so you'll have to catch up.
Oh,
bitch.
no, he watches that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so, you want to beat me, you better wake up at 3
a.m. Not a chance. Not a chance.
I tried to do that. I stayed up until 3 a.m. to watch the season finale of Mando last time.
Yeah.
Man, did I regret that. I was so tired the next day. So we want to move on to Star Wars?
Yeah, because we've got a current event situation in the Star Wars universe, Disney universe, whichever, House of Mouse. Yeah, so Gina Carano got fired for her.
Do we want to call it a firing, or do we want to call it a, you're not being asked back? Like, did she have a continuing contract with them? Or was it something that wasn't renewed?
They did all the big announcing in December during Investors Day, and one of the things that was supposed to be announced is her having a standalone series.
Yes, and that got nixed, I think, right before they were going to make that announcement, too.
Right.
Because of some tweets that she made.
She's very polarizing. It is what it is.
I don't think she's polarizing. Like,
Me personally, I don't care either way.
She's polarizing when you look at it in the context of everybody else that she works with. But, she's not going around and saying that every one of her coworkers is murdering children for their adrenochrome.
No, she's not going that far.
Yeah, she's not like, full QAnon crazy or
right.
QAnon crazy. She's just right of center. And her posts reflect her being just right of center.
Yeah.
And because of that, when she announced that there may be, or she made a post saying that we need to figure out a way to get people back to work, and that was enough to get her series next.
Yeah, I don't see how that was a bad statement.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
It's like that's not a polarizing statement.
Right.
Now, how her counterparts on the series and how her bosses portray her statements is polarizing. Because it's like that book, Everybody You Don't Like Is Hitler, A Child's Guide to Political Discussion. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
If you aren't left of center and far left of center, you're expected to just keep your mouth shut, and that's ridiculous.
I agree.
I really hope this is political as this show ever gets, because I really do not want this show to be about politics. But
no, I don't give a shit about politics, and I think everybody that really go all in with politics and how they think one side or the other is bad, and it's just you're wasting your time and your life's going by and you're not having a good time.
Everybody's full of shit.
Yeah.
But the straw that broke the camel's back for them, though, and a lot of people are saying that she's anti-Semitic, which if you look at the tweet that she posted, it was a dumb tweet, but there's nothing anti-Semitic about it. It's like literally all she did was say, the first thing that happened before the Holocaust was the government turned neighbor against neighbor, and that's similar to what's happening today with conservative voices. She was making a statement about how conservative voices in Hollywood are silenced, and after that statement, what did Hollywood do? They silenced her voice. So I'm not going to say she was onto something, but yeah, I am. She might have been onto something there. The fact that she lost her job because she had the nerve to think a little bit different than the people around her.
Yeah, and I know we talked the other day, we talked about the hypocrisy behind Disney firing Gina Carano when you've had actors on that same show make similar statements.
You have. Pedro Pascal put on his Twitter that I think in 2018 that if you voted for Trump, then you're a Nazi.
Basically, yeah, and he also talked about immigration is still a very ongoing issue, and it's.
But he made a post. I know what you're talking about. He posted a picture of kids in cages and compared that to the Holocaust.
Right. Yeah.
He is also making, overt Holocaust comparisons, but because it's left of center,
Right.
Disney doesn't care. But we're talking about the hypocrisy of Disney. My biggest thing is any company that still makes money off of that racist ass cat from
Was it Aristocats?
Aristocats,
Yeah.
and from the Lady and the Tramp.
There's still
or
tons.
the crows from Dumbo.
Right. There are still tons of racially insensitive material. I'm not going to run out and cancel my Disney Plus subscription by any means, because what would we do without having a Disney Plus subscription?
We'd watch something else.
Yeah, probably so.
wouldn't be the
But,
end of the world.
I'm not going to base my, if someone's out there actually doing bad things and not hurting feelings, yeah, sure, I'll take a look at things and maybe pull my wallet away from it. But
my point is that any company that still is profiting off of those scenes doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to what you can and cannot put on the internet.
I fully agree.
And hell, Amber Heard still has a job.
That still pisses me off.
She beat Johnny Depp and then tried to tell the cops and the whole world that he beat her, and she still gets to keep her job, while Disney fires him from Pirates of the Caribbean.
And all that's already came to light that she was the aggressor in all this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. But they're not going to make it right.
No, they won't. They're too far invested in I guess being right and wrong in their own eyes. Their self-proclaimed righteousness.
Well, when an entertainment company like Disney owns ABC News,
they can
kind of say whatever they want.
they can bend things the way they want. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
So yeah, I'm not going to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. We're definitely going to keep watching The Mandalorian because I really love the show, and I don't think Gina Carano's character, made or broke that show one way or the other.
They'll cover down with someone else.
I really hope they don't recast.
I don't want to see them recast her. No.
I heard they were going to recast her with Don Cheadle. I really hope. I imagine if you're listening to this podcast, you just got that Iron Man joke. But I really hope they don't recast her character. There's definitely some room there to make stories because she's the only Republic agent that knows Bill Burr's character is still alive.
Yep.
There's a story there.
There is still a story there, yes, because they didn't leave on goodbye forever terms.
No, they didn't.
Bill Burr still got a job, and look, Bill Burr's abrasive in all the right ways, if you ask me.
Yep.
Listen to Bill Burr outside of this.
That's really a good point.
Yeah.
Like, how have they not gone back and, through his Twitter and, he still gets to keep a job.
He doesn't have to tweet. He said he gets in front of a microphone like you and me right here, and he says exactly what he feels anytime, anywhere. Mm-hmm. And he'll make Jaws hit the floor in an interview and won't think a second thought about it.
You saw that thing I posted from Babylon Bee yesterday with it was the job opening for Gina Carano's character.
Yes.
Looking for looking for actor to play strong, independent female character, must be submissive and willing to think what we think, or something like that.
Yeah. I like the one that got posted a day or two ago that Gina Carano is being replaced with Amy Schumer.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Oh God, that might make me cancel my Disney Plus subscription.
I probably would have.
I can't stand Amy Schumer.
Awful.
And it has nothing to do with her politics. She's not funny.
She's a joke thief.
Is she?
She's like the female version of Carlos Mencia.
I forgot Carlos Mencia stole jokes.
Oh, Joe Rogan came to fame off that.
Yeah.
That was his, because Joe Rogan was a nobody then, but Joe Rogan already knew about it, and I think it's 2007. Rogan put him on blast.
Yeah.
And Mencia tried to do his best to retaliate, and he wasn't fucking with Joe. Joe already had things figured out.
Yeah.
You talked about YouTube earlier. You need to pull that one up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might just have to do that.
Yeah.
So you got anything else you want to talk about this podcast, Tyler?
Man, I think we've covered some good stuff. Yeah, let's over the next 3 weeks we'll be talking about the wrap up of WandaVision, and I'm sure other things will come up as far as topics go. If y'all want us to talk about anything in particular, let us know.
One thing that I really want us to talk about, maybe next week or the week after, that Nicolas Cage movie I showed you the trailer for last night that's on Amazon Prime.
Did you watch it?
I meant to, and I forgot. I'm going to try to watch it
yet
today.
either.
Was it called Weekend at Willie's or Night at Willie's?
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland. All right, if you have not heard of this movie, go and watch the trailer right now. It's basically Five Nights at Freddy's, if you're familiar with that video game. It's Nicolas Cage plays a badass that's rolling through town, and for some reason he has to spend a night at this Chuck E. Cheese type place where all of the animatronic characters are like possessed by satanic demons and try to murder him as in ritual sacrifice. And just kind of set the tone for the trailer. At one point, one of the characters says he is not trapped in there with him. They're trapped in there with him.
Your typical Nicolas Cage trope.
It's going to be ridiculous, and I can't wait to watch it and talk about it. So if Tyler watches it too, that's definitely going to be something we cover because it's a fairly new movie. It's on Amazon Prime for rent right now.
I think it just came out like 2 days ago.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that movie. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, but we need to cover some more cheesy shit like that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We need to get around doing these watch-alongs too.
Right.
Also, Lauren said that she definitely wants to come back on the podcast too. So if you enjoyed watching Lauren Wells last week, she wants to come back and she's got a better idea of what she wants to cover, and we're going to cover some nerdy stuff with her as well.
Right. I know that I've had a couple of people reach out to me with interest in being guests on here. If y'all are listening right now, y'all know who y'all are. Just know that we're rolling all along, and we're going to get you in there somewhere. Promise.
We're going to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Also, I forgot to mention this, or almost forgot to mention it because I'm mentioning it right now.
Okay.
Are you aware of the average number of podcasts that creators tend to put out before they quit?
I think you mentioned this to me before. 7, right?
It's 7.
We are at number 7.
This is episode number 7, and I'm not burnt out yet. I feel like we're still growing strong, and we are growing.
I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
Scratch your surface.
I'll do so when I please.
All right. All right. You ready to take this home?
Yeah.
All right. So, if you want to support us, go to Unmasked Studio at Instagram. Like his stuff. Share his stuff. Buy a cosplay from him. Apparently, he's a tailor, too. I forgot about that. Buy a suit. Whatever have you. Make sure you look good, and he'll help you look good. Also, go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Or click the link in our bio and go to StrikeForceEnergy.com through the link in the bio. Use promo code AtlasStrength. That's going to save you 20% on whatever you buy on their website. Get energized. We get a little bit of kickback from that. We can buy more.
Pedro.
Fastest. Remember, 30 packets to be as fast as Pedro. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Don't use more. I've used 3. I felt fine, but I'm a caffeine addict. Probably stick to maybe 2 tops. That's going to get you about 340 milligrams per drink. Is that right? No, 280. 2 times 140 is definitely 280.
2 Strike Force packets and a bottle of water is going to put you at more caffeine content than a Monster Energy drink.
Yes, but not as much caffeine content as Mang Energy. So,
right.
So
sweet spot.
Yeah, get you a little sweet spot. So anyway, promo code AtlasStrength, StrikeForceEnergy.com. That's probably the best way to support us so that we can buy more stuff to put in here, more equipment to make the sound quality better, to make the video quality better, maybe get us some cooler guests down the road, because eventually I'd like to get to the point where we can get us some top tier level guests rather than people we just know.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. All right. So, got anything else, Tyler?
That's going to be it from me.
All right. Well, it's been fun, y'all. Until next week, y'all have a good night.
Bye, y'all.